Hey, I'm your girl, your cousin, your sister, your niece, your neighbor, your friend, Terry Joe, and this is the Wife's Circle. Hey, Boo Boo Kitty and Thundercats, how are you today? I pray this is turning out to be a wonderful day for you. So, girl, I heard the news. You all have been courting, and he has asked you to marry him, and you got your wedding date set. Congratulations. But boo, hold on. Before you jump the broom, there's some things you need to do before you say, I do. You ready? Let go. All right. Number one, you need to talk about finances. You need to discuss what your debt is, what your income is. You need to discuss how you're going to manage money together, how you're going to pay bills, who's going to pay what bills. If he owns a house and you own a house, are you going to combine the houses? Are you going to move into one house and then rent the other? Are you going to sell the house? If you're in an apartment, are you going to come out of one apartment and move into another, or move into a house? You need to establish all those things that deal with finances. What does your financial future look like together? Some married couples have decided putting their money together does not work for them. So they keep their funds separate. If it works for them, that's good. But you have to figure out what works for you and your boo-bae. All right. So talk about the finances. Establish a clear conversation about that money, honey. You need to have spending rules in place, saving rules. You need to look at debt income ratio. All of those things, just lay it on the table. And I would even encourage you, get a third party to come in, financial advisor, to look at what you guys have individually and what you can bring together collectively. All right. The next thing you need to do is talk about family. Now, if you are bringing children to the table, or if he's bringing children to the table, there needs to be established clear boundaries on children. Will you allow this person to discipline your children, or will he discipline you? What's that going to be about? Does he have a voice in the life of your children? Does she, for the men that, follow the Wife's Circle, does she have a voice in the life of your children? I think it's really important that whoever you marry, that person has a voice. May not be a strong voice, but they have a voice. Because in my own experience, as being a person who was married to an individual that had a child prior to us getting married, the communication became muddy. It wasn't my fault though, but the communication became muddy. And because that communication became muddy, it caused some friction. So to avoid having friction, you and your spouse, your boo-bae, need to sit down with the external parents. Now, if the external parents are not involved, then that's a whole nother story. But there needs to be clear-cut boundaries, rules established on discipline, rules established on all kinds of things on how the house is going to be ran. Because, children can manipulate situations if you will let them. So you need to be sure that those conversations are held. And then not just with the outside parents, the external parents, but also with the children, whether they are little children, teenagers. Have the conversation. Even if your children are adults, you just want to ensure that you are with someone that you feel safe with, so your children feel safe. Okay? Awesome. The next thing is social media. Man, oh man, some people just post everything on social media. And you know what? That is so annoying. They post what they eat. They post, I got to change my baby's diaper. They post, I'm driving down the street. You need to establish the boundary of what goes on social media and what does not. I like the fact that several married couples have put a clause in the invitation that if a person attends their wedding ceremony, they cannot post pictures or videos until the bride and the groom post pictures and videos. I think it's very disrespectful when people go to a wedding and they're going live and they're posting videos of the bride and the groom before the bride and groom can even look at the professional pictures. So before you say I do, you need to tell your guest when you come into the facility, everybody gets a phone bag. Drop that phone in that bag and seal it up. And because it's to keep things private and to keep people from being all in your business publicly. But you also need to ensure that whatever you post on social media about your significant other, that they are in agreement with it. If they're not a person that does a lot of posting, then you need to ensure that you don't overpost. Agree about what needs to be posted, because social media is a beast. And once you open that door to allow people into your social media life, you give people a license to speak about your relationship, about your marriage, about anything. So you want to make sure that you don't open that door at all. And then finally, seek support. Consider couples counseling. Someone that, and even if you don't go to couples counseling, but you and your husband confide in someone that has had marriage longevity and that their marriage is rooted in the Word. Once you do this, you will have the ear and the advice from someone that can speak into your life, can speak into your marriage, godly wisdom. Because listen, getting advice from the wrong person will hurt your marriage severely. If you are married, be careful, be prayerful on whom you receive advice from, even if they are a preacher. Trust me. So these are some things that you need to do as a newlywed couple. Before you say I do, these are some things that you need to take into consideration. Now, put these boundaries in place because you're about to have a wonderful life with your boo bae. Like, follow, subscribe, and share. I'm your girl, your cousin, your sister, your niece, your neighbor, your friend, Terry Joe. And this is The Wife's Circle. Have a great day on purpose. Boo Boo Kitty and Thundercats.